Welcome to Money, Manifestation, and Business, the podcast that shows you how to use your energy, intention, and consciousness to reprogram your money mindset, unleash a new level of possibility, and create a life and business that lights you up. I'm your host, Jamie Berman, and I invite you to join me each week for a dose of inspiration, coaching, and teachings to help you rewrite your money story, create abundance on your terms, and grow your business in a way that's fully aligned for you. This is going to be so much fun. Let's dive in. Hi guys, guess what? I am dropping some bonus podcast episodes just for you. Because if you know me, you know that my intention is to help you have a shift, a transformation around your relationship with money and business, and to learn that creating money, creating lots of money is not as hard as you are making it out to be. So we are going to dive into the energetics of money over these next 3 episodes, and I hope you enjoy it just as much as those who came live. All right. And if you're loving the energy of this work and you want more of it, I invite you to come join me inside of my high-level group coaching container, the Money Manifestation Movement. You can learn more about it in the show notes. And until then, I hope you really enjoy these bonus episodes. We are going to talk about how to stop under-earning. And you're going to love this call, even if you're like, Jamie, I don't think I'm under-earning. I think I'm good. Just listen. You may be under-earning after we go through today's content. And even if you're not, I think the teachings today are going to help you feel so much more in alignment with your price, with the value that you offer, and what that does when you are in straight up alignment with it is it makes it really, really easy to sell. It makes it magnetic. Hi, Lana, Sam, so good to see you. Who's excited for today's teaching? Who's excited to stop under-earning? Who feels like maybe you are under-earning? Yeah. Okay, Carla. Yes, I hear you. And yes, Antoinette. Okay, awesome. So good. Hi, Jackie. I'm in your old office. So fun. Okay. Yes, totally. Okay. I'm super excited too. So let's go. But first, before we talk about that, I want to really lock in, like what you're getting out of this, right? So I want you to think about yesterday's teaching. And as you've reflected, as you've done the homework, what's your biggest takeaway? What's something that you want to take away from yesterday's teaching and bring into today's teaching? So if you could put that in the chat, I want to see it because we're going to lock that in. And if you didn't see yesterday's, I highly recommend going back and watching it. It's totally fine. You don't have to watch them in order. But yeah, the replay is out, so you can totally come catch the replay. Okay, I want to see what you all are bringing with you. Yeah. My mindset dictates my manifestation power. Yeah, Brenna. So true. Yeah. That feeling of trust I gained back from yesterday's call. Amazing. Yeah. Trying to manifest money from desperation is not the right energy. So good, Scott. Yeah. To not look at my current circumstances and that all my manifestation foundation is calm. Yeah. Calm could be your superpower. So good. Same thing as Hales. Yes. Setting intentions from love. So awesome. Intentions are powerful. Letting go of all the limiting beliefs. Amazing, Antoinette. Manifesting from a whole and relaxed state. Yes. Awesome, Lana. Okay. I love it. So good, right? So you guys have set up such a beautiful foundation, especially since you've really been intentionally practicing those thoughts that bring you to that place of wholeness, that bring you to that place of enoughness. And from that place, it's so much easier to call in more, right? It's hard to call in more from less, right? It's hard to call in abundance from lack. It just doesn't work. Okay. Yeah. Carla, appreciating my current manifestations. So good. This is actually so powerful. I'm so glad you said that, Carla, because I actually see this. I'm always looking at like, ooh, what are the patterns that like high earners do? And I have a mastermind group of individuals, entrepreneurs who are making six figures and beyond, right? They're working towards multiple six figures, towards their first $1 million. And what I see them doing a lot is like appreciating, celebrating, right? They're like celebrating what they have, which allows them to grow and manifest more, because what we appreciate appreciates, right? So it basically kind of goes back to yesterday's teaching. It's like, if we're always seeing it's not enough, we're just going to like get more, not enough. Even if we get more, we won't see it. So what you appreciate appreciates. And I'm telling you, anytime you're manifesting clients, you're manifesting more sales, you're manifesting during a launch, one of the most powerful things you can do is literally appreciate the heck out of the people that are already there. Appreciate your current audience, appreciate your current followers, love the heck out of them, right? Because what you appreciate appreciates. So if you want more followers, you have to appreciate and love and give your all to the ones that you have. If you want more clients, right? Same, appreciate the ones you have, give your all to them, help them get amazing results, and it will just appreciate from there. That's the best thing that you can do. Okay. So today I really want to talk about not under earning anymore. Okay. I might get fierce today. Just warning you, I don't know. But sometimes when I get on this subject, I get a little fiery because I'm very passionate about it. And I do not like seeing people limiting themselves, devaluing themselves. I do not like seeing you just talking down to yourself, saying you're not enough, all that kind of stuff. Like, I just don't stand for it. And my clients know this. So I'm not going to let y'all get away with it either. Okay. So what does it mean when we're under earning? What is under earning? Under earning is when we are literally deciding on our prices based upon what we think people will pay, right? Where we're like, I think they would only pay this much, so I'm going to decide that. Yet you don't actually feel like an energetic match to that price, right? You're like, wait, I really want this, but I don't think people would pay that. So I'm just going to go down here where I think people will pay. But you know you're under earning when your business doesn't have a profit, right? When you are struggling to get support because your business can't feed you, right? Literally, not only with like food and home and all the things, but also mental support, emotional support, you being able to get a coach, right? When you are not making money in your business, you're under earning, right? When you're not making the kind of money you want to be in your business, you are under earning. When you feel like you're giving way more than you're receiving, you are under earning, right? We want it to feel like an energetic match, an energetic kind of value exchange. It should feel really good. It should feel like a super mega win-win on both sides, right? It should be like you're making the amount where it feels like a win for you, where you get to be the abundant entrepreneur that you are, the abundant CEO that you are, and your clients or your customers or whoever you're providing a service to, right? They are winning too, right? They're winning as an effect of the work that you're doing together. So that's what I think of as not under earning, is when it really feels like an even value exchange. It feels like a win-win on both sides, right? Where your clients are like, oh my gosh, I'm winning. I hit the jackpot working with you. This has changed my life. And you're saying, yes. And I'm able to have a profitable business, take care of my family, take care of my life, be able to go on vacations, be able to do the things that I love and manifest the life of my dreams as an effect of what I get, right? So I want you all to think about this and just check in on yourself. Do you feel like maybe you're under earning, right? Do you feel like it really is a good energetic exchange with your business where you have a good, healthy profit and you're giving the heck to your community? Yeah, you're under earning, right, Scott? Okay. Yep. Good to know, right? Definitely under earning. Okay. Yeah. And I'm going to teach you how to stop under earning. All right. Good. I'm so glad. I mean, and it's so good to just get honest with ourselves. Yeah, definitely under earning. Okay. Yeah. So I want to go through some of the reasons why we under earn. The reason I like to identify why is because it also helps provide shifts, right? We can shift those areas where, we may be getting into that pattern of under earning. So number one, it has to do with a mega limiting belief, right? So, one of the main reasons. Number one is that we think people don't want to pay for things, or we think people don't have the money to pay for things, right? When we have that thought and we hold that thought, we do not charge for our services, or we undercharge and we under earn, right? We undercharge for our services. Which honestly, when we are not a match to the amount that we are charging, it is harder to sell. It is harder to sell, I'm telling you. Even if it's cheap, it's hard to sell because you're like, what the heck, right? You're feeling resentful because people aren't buying at this cheap rate that you're like undercharging at, right? So you feel resentful at your business. Then it feels really annoying, right? I told my clients, how do you know you're undercharging is if you get a price objection, you're pissed off, right? You're like, why? Who, what, how can you even have an objection at this price? It makes no sense, right? If that's the case, you're probably undercharging for sure, right? You shouldn't get pissed off if people are having price objections. It should be a rate where you're like, yeah, it kind of makes sense, right? Like, it's expensive. It is. It does make sense that there would be a price objection. It does make sense that there would be some fear. I totally get it. And, right, but this is what you get out of it. So that's a thing. If you're getting upset that people are not buying because your price is so low, you're probably under earning. And here is the truth. And I mean, okay, basically, I'm saying this is the truth. I'm going to say this is my truth. All right. Because we hear lots of truths everywhere. You hear lots of thoughts coming from all kinds of different people. I'm going to tell you what has been true for me. It is not easier to sell cheap things. That's been my truth. It's been way harder to sell cheap things. You would think that's not the case. That's why I provided cheap offers in the past, right? It's because I'm like, oh, it'll be easy to sell. Guess what? It's not true. For me, what I have found is it feels so much harder to sell, probably because number one, I'm not a match to that price. And number two, what I have realized is no matter what your price is, there is going to be an equal number of people saying yes as there are people saying no, right? Just because you have a cheap price, it doesn't mean you're going to sell more necessarily, right? It doesn't mean it's going to be easier to sell it. You're still going to have to sell it. You have to sell the heck out of it. And whenever you're not an energetic match to that price, it feels frustrating because you're like, why are you not just buying it so cheap, right? You know that that's off. So seriously, that is something I've totally found because I have had packages that have been everything from $1,000 for a year with weekly coaching with me for like a group coaching container, $1,000 for a year. I had so much trouble selling that. And that was coming from me having like one-on-ones, this was like after I was charging, $5,000 for 6 months of one-on-one. And then I decided to do this group kind of container. And I was like, well, I'll charge way less because it'll be easier to sell. I'll get more people in. So it was $1,000 for a full year. I'm talking a mega over deliver program. It was way easier to sell my one-on-ones. It was way easier to sell the $6,000 package. Crazy, right? It's so just having something cheap does not mean it's going to sell. Do not pick up that misbelief. Don't pick up that misconception. And I want to check in with some of you. Have you noticed this? Have you noticed that you have reduced your rates or created an offer that's quote unquote cheap? And you're like, WTF, why is this not flying off the whatever, right? Off the internet. Yeah, 100%, right? So what I have noticed is I have had, right? I'm thinking of my offers. I've had an offer that was $1,000 for a full year of coaching with me. And I've had an offer that was $18,000 for, it was 4 months of coaching with me, right? I've sold both of those at different times, of course, different offers, but both of them were equally easy and equally hard to sell, right? Both of them, I got just as many yeses on the $18,000 one as I got on the 1,000. I got the same amount of no's on the 18,000 than I did on the 1,000. So why do I say it feels easier to sell the more expensive one? Because it's more exciting to actually sell it and then you bring in more money, right? So it feels a lot easier because if someone has an objection, you're not pissed off. You're like, well, yeah, it makes sense, right? So I want you guys to price your services, price your things at a point where you're not going to be pissed off if someone has an objection, where you're like, I get it. It's expensive. I am high value. I am worthy of high compensation. This work changes lives, right? This work matters. Okay. And like I said, here's the other misconception is that people don't like paying for things. What you do, and I know why you take this thought, right? Because like I said, let's just pretend no matter what you offer, you're going to get 50% yeses and 50% no's, right? Let's just pretend, even though I actually think you'll get more yeses than that, you should be probably getting higher, but let's just say no matter what, you get 50% yeses and 50% no's. What you do, if you have a thought, people don't like paying for things, or they can't afford it, right? If you have this thought, people can't afford this, people won't see the value in this, right? What we think is what we see evidence of. It is the lens we look through. So if you have a thought, you're literally putting on those glasses. So if your main thought is people can't afford X, Y, or Z, whatever you're selling, people don't want to pay for it, right? Or they don't want to pay that much for it, you're putting that lens on. So then when you go to sell, even if no matter what, there's 50% yeses and 50% no's, you're going to see every no as evidence of your belief. You're going to see, right? Because you're looking through that lens. You're like, see, people don't want it. People can't pay for it, right? So like you get a couple no's and you're like, it's the price. I knew it. People don't want to pay for it. It's like, no matter what, there's going to be people that want it and there's going to be people that don't. In fact, I have a client who was like, I sold a $99 program. Like we were talking about this. She's like, I had a $99 program and like, I got a lot of no's, like people who are like, I can't afford that right now. You know, I don't have the money for that. Right. So like, no matter what your price is, just know circumstance. Literally like fact, situation, there will be people who say no. There will be people that say it's too expensive, even if it's $1, right? But the work is not to make that mean people don't want to pay for it. What you make that mean is, of course, there's always going to be people that say, I can't afford it, right? And plus that is always everyone's go-to thought. Everyone's go-to thought is, I can't afford it. And what's usually underneath that thought is, I'm afraid, I don't know if I can do it. Like this is stretchy for me, but our brain, like the automatic thought is I can't afford it. And that's what people just like, even if you think about it like socially, right? It's like, that's an acceptable phrase. So that's what people tend to say when they don't want to really process like, you know, what's going on for them. So I just think it's really important to not make yourself hearing that mean something. The story that you tell about that matters. It is everything. My thought is like, probably all of my clients are going to say that. That's my thought. And it's true. I think everyone who has come into my mastermind, which is a very high level program, a lot of the people in there are making a lot of money. And I think almost everyone in there was in that place of like, this is stretchy. I don't know. Can I afford it? Right? Of course, it's scary. It's scary to make an investment. So I just have the thought, of course, they're going to think that. That's not true. Like I have the belief everyone's super resourceful. And I also have the belief, like I work with a lot of women. I work with men too, and I work with all genders, but that like, you know, what was the thing that I was going to say? Okay. I work with a lot of women. Lost my train of thought. Okay. I'll come back to it. Sorry. Okay. So here's the way that I think about it, because I think a lot of people think I don't want to charge too much because I want to be equitable, which I totally, completely understand. And I know that this is a group of heart-centered, soulful entrepreneurs who really want to be conscious, right? You want to be aware of what's going on in the world. We don't want to be blinded. You know what I mean? Like, and I get it. And I hear you. So what my thought is I definitely want to also be equitable. And I want people to be able to access this work. I don't want, this money manifestation and the, money creation to only be accessible, for like quote unquote rich people. So here is how I think about it, right? This is how I run it. I am either, it's like kind of my motto in my business, I'm either free or expensive. I don't have a lot in between, right? And I don't find that the in between for me works that well, especially with the way that I work with people, because as I shared yesterday, I tend to be like, when I get to know someone, I know you. I remember everything we coach on. I remember everything about you. Like my clients were saying, I can't believe you remembered that thought that I gave you 6 months ago and you brought me back to it, right? Like I have this like ability to go really deep, right? Which means it's highly transformational whenever people work with me. And the price of that is high. But what I do is I either do free or I do high, right? So I give a lot away for free in order to be equitable, in order for this work to be accessible for those who may not be able to afford that price right away, right? It's like, I want to teach you the work that's going to allow you to be able to afford it, right? So I give that away for free. I have my podcast, which I spend thousands and thousands of dollars a year, probably close to like $12,000 a year to have produced, like with my own money, right? To give that away for free. I have these trainings, which I spend thousands and thousands of dollars on ads to get people in so that you can come and learn it, right? And I give it away for free, right? But the thing is, I wouldn't be able to do this. My Instagram too. Again, like we repurpose so much. I have them share coaching calls. I have them share insights and things that I share, so that anyone in my community is going to come in and be able to start getting some results, start understanding how to create money, right? So that's all free. But I wouldn't be able to offer that if I didn't charge for my programs, right? There's no way I would be able to be here right now and if I didn't charge for it, right? And it's the same for you guys. So if you think of like the law of giving and receiving, you have to be willing to give and to receive in order to give. They go hand in hand. You have to be willing to receive. And this whole under-earning thing is you being unwilling to receive, right? So really, really important. And that's the way that I think about it. It's like, the more that I can make in my business, the more impact I'm going to have for sure in the world, because I want this work to touch so many lives, right? And that's how I think about it in a way that feels, for me, conscious, where it does feel equitable, where I'm like, I want to get to the people for free, right? Like I want to teach you all. And you know how much I give in my podcast. You guys know, like I even do free coaching calls on there for people in the community who aren't in my program. I'm able to give a lot. But the reason I'm able to give is because I allow myself to have a full cup and be able to receive in my business, right? I charge what my programs are worthy of, right? I'm not going to like under earn. I'm not going to believe that people can't afford it. And I'm like, no, because I know what I was going to say. I do work with a lot of women, and I feel like women are very resourceful and they're amazing manifestors. So I do believe that if like working together and like in any of my programs is a yes for someone, that person 100% can figure out a way to do it because they're resourceful. I just have that thought. I'm like, they can figure it out. And if I hold that for them, also when someone pays for something, especially a significant amount, how do they show up for that? It's for them. They show up in a way that's so different versus when it's free or versus when it's really cheap. And I know that because like I said, right, Greta, like I said, I've charged $1,000 for a year of coaching with me and people didn't value it, even though I'm like, dude, I'm a master coach. Like, you come to this, you would get results, but they didn't value it because they didn't pay that much for it. They didn't have that much skin in the game. And also the work that the work that I do and have done, it does take, it's kind of like similar to like, if you want to transform your body, right? If you want to get like really muscular and healthy, like it's not going to be something that is just super easy to do on your own. You actually have to put effort into it every single day. You have to show up for the gym. You have to show up and you have to lift probably like bigger weights than you're used to lifting, and it feels uncomfortable and you have to manage your mind around it, right? And that's the same with like learning how to create money. It's something you have to show up to time and time again. And I know that if I'm undercharging, I'm not going to do it. Here's an example. Here's how I know, right? I have had a trainer for the past 4 years and I love him so much. And we paid him well. And we met him at the park 2 days a week. Me and Josh, we would train together and I was fit. I was strong. I felt so good. I loved it. And then Justice, he just had to move to Atlanta, which what the heck? I keep texting him to move back. He's like, Jamie, no. He's like, I like it here. But anyways, I haven't found a trainer yet. So I'm like, okay, let me do ClassPass. ClassPass is like $60 a month or something like that. I don't even know. It's super cheap in my opinion compared to a trainer. Y'all know how much I've used that ClassPass? Yeah, I've used it like twice, right? Yet with Justice, with my one-on-one trainer, I had skin in the game. I was paying him hundreds of dollars a month. You better bet I was going to show up for that. And I was getting the transformation and my body changed, right? And it's the same for you all. If you think about it with your clients, like how do you want them to show up? Because how you charge positions that. And that's not just for coaching, that's also for products, right? Like, how are they going to value it? Really depends on the price. If it's cheap, they're not going to value it as much. So it really positions it in a way, and it changes the way people think about it. So honestly, you charging the right rate that feels like an energetic match, that feels like, I mean, I like to charge something where I'm like, I know for sure they're going to 10x the value out of it, or they're going to 10x the investment, if not more, way more throughout their entire lifetime. I do like to charge, like think about it like that, where they're always thinking it's a total over deliver, right? Like I love my clients having that thought and that experience, but I'm not going to go cheap because I don't believe people can pay for it, right? I think that like, it's such an opportunity to get them to rise up to that price. It makes such a difference, right? And I think it's easier to sell, to be honest with you. Like, I really do. We see it in my launches, right? My more expensive programs are like hotcakes, right? And then I had this low-cost program and I'm like, what the heck, right? When I introduced a low-cost program, my income started going down. So that's why we've done some reorganization in the business. And that's why we're raising rates, which, if you want to get in at the lower rate, you can now, but it is going up for that reason, because I really think it's going to energetically make people show up differently. And here's the other thing. I know that we have a lot of coaches in here. I know not everyone is one, but here is my thought about, and because I have a lot of thoughts about the coaching industry. I've worked with so many coaches to help them grow their businesses. I've also trained coaches, right? So I worked at the Life Coach School. I'm a master certified coach there. I was a coach instructor for 2 years. I trained over 100 coaches in how to become a life coach, right? And what I know for sure about coaching is it's kind of like a doctor, but for your life. Right? A doctor is for your health. Coaching is like a doctor, but for your life. It saves things. It really does. It saves things. For me, I've had clients where they have literally said, this work has saved my life. Not only that, but I can't tell you how many people say this saved my business. This got me out of debt. This saved my financial well-being, right? So many of you, depending on what kind of coach you are, this saved my marriage. Your work saves marriages. Your work saves sex lives. Your work saves whatever, right? Parents. It saves people's health. You know what I mean? Like, depending on what you're doing, it is saving someone. It is worthy of high compensation. It is. And I feel that about the coaching industry. I really do. And I think if you want to be equitable, the way to do it is offer free and offer it for high cost. I just think that's the easiest way to do it. And I think for me, that's the way that has worked the best and allowed me to manifest money and also make the biggest impact that I've been able to make. And that brings me to our mantra of the day. So everybody get your notebooks out. Get your notebooks out because you got to save this and you got to say it like 100 times today, internally, out, externally, write it down. Here's your mantra of the day. Let me see. Here it is. My services are worthy of high compensation. Mantra of the day that you have to save if you want to win the prize at the end. My services are worthy of high compensation. Feel it, ground in that, right? It is true. It is true. And I know another reason other than like part one was reason number one of why you have drama about your prices and you're under earning is because of what you think people think about coaching and prices and your services and all the things, what you think people want to pay. Part two of why you're under earning is because of what you think about you. You're undervaluing yourself. And I know this. And this is what I work with my people with. So I'm like, stop it. I don't let them keep their own thoughts. I give them new thoughts and I say, trust me over yourself because our brains are cuckoo. Yes. Yes. Right, Hales? Yes, I know. So this is reason number two, we under earn is we listen to our own brain. And here is the truth is I think it's really, really hard to see our own brilliance. I don't know if it's hard or impossible, but I know I struggle with that, right? Like I struggle to see my own brilliance. I struggle to value my own brilliance. Why is that? Because it feels natural to us, right? Our own brilliance, what we are best at, the gifts that we have feel so natural to us that we totally don't see it. We can't see it because we've been taught our whole lives that in order to make a lot of money, you have to work really, really hard. So we try to fit ourselves into a box of something we are not, right? We dim down our own gifts, our own brilliance, and we're like, well, it has to be this, which I am not. So it means I can't charge that much. No. So here's the thing is just know that this is something that our brain is kind of unable to see. It's something that I've accepted. Right? Because I don't know a lot of people who are like, God, I know how freaking awesome I am. I mean, maybe Brooke Castillo, because she practices those thoughts a lot and I love it. I'm here for it. But I don't know a lot of people, right? I know a lot more people who are like, not good enough. I don't know if my clients can get results. I don't know if I can be a millionaire. It's for people like that. I'm like, shut up. Not true. None of it. Right? Who's with me? So it's true. Like we were actually, we were talking about this. So I had a in-person retreat last week. Can't even believe it was just last week. And it was amazing. Like everyone had a big awakening at the retreat. It was huge and it was transformational. And I did a lot of hot seat coaching with the participants. And almost everyone was coming up and saying, oh my God, like when I get around a group of people like this, which everyone was just in this, like, I attract amazing clients who are really in a similar mental and energetic state, right? So we're kind of like all on the same plane and it's really amazing. And you get in that energy of all of it and it's really magnetic. And so there was a group of 22 women. And what they all noticed was, wait a minute, like when I'm with this group, everybody's thinking really good thoughts about me. Everyone's telling me amazing things about myself. Everyone's noticing my brilliance. They're noticing my gifts, and it feels really uncomfortable. Every person was like, how come everyone can see it and I can't? Right? And what we do is we tend to reject those things. We're like, nah, you're wrong. Stop doing that, you guys. You have to stop doing it because they're right and you're wrong. And so if a coach tells you something about you, listen to them. If somebody tells you something positive about you, listen to them. Don't reject it. They are accurate. You are not. We can't see our own brilliance. Why don't we just accept it? Right? That's what I coached a lot of them on, was like, what if you just stop caring that you can't see it? It's totally okay. You don't have to, but what if you just believed them? Right? Because we all walk around with imposter syndrome, all of us, 100%. Right? We all walk around with imposter syndrome, especially women. We weren't taught to value ourselves, right? This is like the first time in history that like women have power around money. Women can be in business. Like really think about it. Like our grandparents couldn't do what we're doing. For many of us, our moms couldn't. My mom, in the day that she grew up, she couldn't even like have a credit card. She couldn't get a mortgage, right? That didn't start happening until like the 60s. It's crazy. Or was it the 70s? One of the two, like not that long ago. So it's like, of course you can't see your brilliance. Of course you have imposter syndrome. Okay, totally okay. Like, don't make that a problem, but like, stop believing your own thoughts about yourself. And I will say this will change your life. I'm going to give you something that will change your life if you do it. Surround yourself with people that see you. It will change your life. It will change your business. I saw it last week at that retreat. I'm talking all 22 of those women had an awakening in some way, right? Because they were surrounding themselves. They put themselves in a room with other people who could see them. And like, it just lifted their energetic state. Makes such a difference. And this is why I work in groups with people, because it makes a difference whenever you have a group surrounding, reflecting all the things that are beautiful and amazing about you that you can't see yourself. So I say, take that in. And stop undervaluing yourself. If you have a thought, I'm not good enough, okay, fine. Don't believe it. Do not decide what you're charging based upon that thought, because you will be under earning and you won't have a profitable business. And like, you're not going to be able to sustain your business if it's not profitable. And what I know for sure is that you have a gift, and what your gift is what your business is. And I would hate for you to not give that gift and not share that gift with the world and have a huge impact on the world because you're believing your own limiting thoughts. Okay? Anyone having any ahas here? I'm just curious if this is landing for anyone. Okay, yeah. I love you, Carla. Yeah. Okay, awesome. So just charge more than you are wanting to. Yeah, imposter syndrome is real, right? Until you get compliments, but then even it comes back, right? It's like in the moment you get a compliment, okay, but then imposter syndrome can come back again. It's like, because then you're always, again, you're going to also have people who disagree, right? So if you make other people's like disagreements mean something about you too, that's not helpful. So I just say, go for what you really want, right? And if you think about it, one of my favorite manifestation teachers, spiritual teacher, Jesus himself, says in the Bible, ask and it is given, right? So many of us aren't asking, which is why it's not given. We're like, what? I'm accepting money. Y'all, you ain't asking. That's why. Ask and it is given. So ask for the price you really want for your product. Ask for the price that feels in alignment. Ask and it is given. But are you asking? Because it can be given if you are asking. And that means, are you making offers? Are you asking for the price that you want? Because it will be given. Yeah. Okay, amazing. Let me see what else is here. Yeah, another thing around receiving and why you really have to open and expand your capacity to receive is because again, like I said, you can't give with an empty cup. And an empty cup is also, you can't give with an empty bank account, right? Like you're not going to be able to sustain your business with an empty bank account, with an empty business account. So you have to be willing to receive. So that means you have to be willing to ask for the prices that you want. And also what I also know is like I said, the more you are willing to receive, the more you can also give, the more you can fill your cup up. So the thing is that you want to be making sure that you're receiving to the extent where you're able to also give to yourself. So that you can get support yourself, right? So that you can get a coach, you can grow, so that then your clients can grow further. If you're not willing to receive and you're under earning, you're going to have to be cheap in your own life. And that is just not really going to, if you have to be cheap in your own life, it's really not going to provide, I guess, the best business experience. It's not going to allow you to be your best CEO that you could be, right? Again, it's like you have to be willing to fill your own cup. And what that means is be able to invest in yourself mentally, physically, spiritually, and in terms of your home and your anything you need to survive. But you have to expand your capacity to receive in order to do that. And that's a lot of the work that I do with my clients is I work on helping them expand their capacity to receive. Because a lot of people don't realize that's actually their money block, is that they are very, very good at giving. They're very comfortable at giving, but they are not comfortable with receiving. And a lot of people don't even realize that's what's going on. So that's a huge piece of the work that I do with my clients and pull apart so that then their business gets booming. It feels really good because then whenever you do have that, where you're both open to giving and receiving, that's when the flow starts. And it feels like, oh my gosh, business feels so much better. It feels so much easier because you're nourished. Right? You're nourished. When you expand your capacity to receive, you're way more nourished. So it just feels like you want to give so much more even. That's how I feel. Okay, let me answer some questions and open the floor for some coaching. But first, let me give you your mini manifestation homework assignment. Okay, here's your assignment for today. I want you to really reflect on what I'm sharing here. And I want you to think about some new thoughts that you want to take from today, right? What are some of the thoughts, not only that you want to take, but you want to implement in your business today? And please share them in the Facebook group. And I loved everyone's yesterday. They were so good. And I think once, just having everyone share it, it inspires one another. Again, you guys are already, you're putting yourself in a room of people who are starting to see you and we're vibing on the same page. And there's something amazing about that. So if you're willing to share, amazing. So again, the homework assignment is to think about what landed for you today. What are some of the thoughts you're going to take on? And what are you going to implement from today in your business and share that in the group? All right. Yeah. I am a luxury kind of gal, so lots of expansion needed. Give luxury, receive luxury. That is my big business motto. 100% Hales, 100%. Yes. That's what's fun, right? Whenever you allow yourself to be luxurious, you can give, right? You can give from that place. You can give luxuriously. It's so fun. So fun. Yes. Okay. So Helen says, I keep getting pushback on my low cost pricing. Of course you do. Like I said, I got pushback on my low cost pricing, right? My client was offering a $99 program and she got pushback. Like I said, you're going to have equal amount of people that say yes and equal amount of people that say no. It is not easier to sell cheap things. I say it again, it is not easier to sell cheap things. Think of how much of a marketing budget McDonald's has. How much money does McDonald's put into marketing? I don't know, but I imagine it is massive, right? It is massive because they have to strategically think about how to sell these cheap food, right? They have to, right? They have to put a lot of work into thinking about how to position it, how to sell it over and over, what kind of campaigns to do to get people going through that drive-through. Just because it's cheap, it doesn't mean it's going to sell itself. If McDonald's didn't market it, it would not be, right? It's not going to just sell because it's cheap. So think about that. And if like a lower cost program feels in alignment, and you're like, I'd rather be lower cost, but have like a very wide audience, amazing. But know that you still have to put so much time, energy, effort into marketing. You're going to have to invest in marketing just on an even bigger scale because you need to get more people in, which is amazing for people who love marketing, right? And if that feels like a match, amazing. There are people who have memberships that are thriving and stuff, right? That are low cost. And just know that it doesn't sell itself. The people who have those low cost programs are master salespeople, master marketers, and they probably love that piece of it. Right. And that's how it grows. And it's amazing that that works. But what I'm trying to say is don't think that just because it's cheap, it's going to be easier to sell. It's just not that way. So yeah, I'm just reflecting on that. Right. So I raised a little to please. Okay. So I keep getting pushback on my low cost pricing. I raised it a little to please others, but I am still okay with where I am. I have a high-end offer in my future plans, but I love being okay with where I am for my ideal clients. I love that. Perfect. So good. And I think as long as you know, right, Helen, that this offer feels amazing. It feels amazing to have a low-cost offer. Knowing that, but just knowing that just because it's low cost doesn't mean that it's going to just like fly off the shelves, right? I mean, you still like it'll be the same marketing that you give to your high cost offer that you give to your low cost, right? You'll have to put the same marketing into both. So I think that's important to just like keep in mind and just like be an acceptance of that. But also, Helen, I want you to make sure that this offer is going to be enough for you to receive, right? Because as a business owner, as a CEO, like if this feels really good, you have to make sure that the amount you're receiving also feels really good. The amount that you're making in your business feels really good, right? Because that's just as important. Like, it has to feel like a major win-win on both sides for it to flow energetically. So I'm just pointing that out. Love it. Okay. Does anybody want coaching? Because I have some time. I do have to hop off right at 11 because we have our money manifestation movement call. So I get to do 2 hours of straight teaching and coaching, which I'm really happy about. Okay. Just raise your hand if you want some coaching. And if not, I'll just answer more questions. But I know a few of you wanted some yesterday. So anyone want to expand your capacity to receive? Just raise your virtual hand. Okay. Sam, Lana, let's go. I'm going to promote you to panelist. And also, if you are getting coached, we will send the replay of this out. I gave the mantra of the day already, Mary. The mantra of the day was, my services are worthy of high compensation. Hello.
Hi.
Hi, good to see you. You guys, Lana was one of my first clients ever. Like,
oh my God. Jamie changed my life, guys. Literally, like, it was one of the hardest things I've ever done and one of the most rewarding things in my life ever. And it changed completely everything. So grateful. I'm going to cry. Okay, no.
It's so good to see you again.
So grateful.
Yes.
So good. So I just wanted to get coaching because I just launched 2 big offerings last week. And it's the first time that I do 2 at the same time. Like one is for my retreat that I'm going to host here in Mexico. And then the other is for my Brave program for healers and light workers. So they're both high-end, offers.
Yeah.
And the Brave one is getting a pretty good response. I already have like 4 or 5 clients in the offer. I'm only expecting 11, so it's half of it. But the retreat is like, I have a couple. I have only one secure spot, and people are not really, filling out the form to actually apply for it.
Okay.
So these last couple of days, I was like, I don't know, should I do more? Should I do like up, the promotion, the marketing? I haven't been doing like the most. I can do more.
Okay.
But yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm curious where, if you'd be willing to check in, where is your energy around the retreat right now? Like, how are you feeling about it?
I'm feeling pretty good. It was something that I was a bit scared to do the last years, but I felt like finally this year is like I'm feeling good about it.
Yeah.
But I think I probably have been focusing a little bit more on Brave on the program.
Yeah.
Than like in terms of energy, like I'm a bit like I focus on one thing only.
Yeah.
So I think like having both, it's like I'm not sure if I'm giving enough to both of them.
Okay. Yeah. So that makes sense, right? So it makes sense why people are enrolling in Brave, but they're like, you have one secured for the retreat because you're just giving a lot of energy to Brave, which totally fine. When is the retreat and when does Brave start?
Brave starts at the end of February.
Okay.
And the retreat is at the end of March.
Okay. Okay. So I guess the question is, right, do you want to give equal energy to both, or do you want to sell out Brave first and then go all in on the retreat?
I was thinking about that. Maybe, selling out Brave first and then doing the retreat. I was a bit worried because sometimes, people need some time to plan like retreats and things like that, especially if it's in Mexico.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this. How much is Brave?
Brave is like a 6-month program and it's 1,200 per month.
Okay. So, and then how much is the retreat?
The retreat is 3,200 per person.
Okay. So another option, only because the retreat is around the corner. And my hunch is you probably want to fill it and you want to fill Brave, is an idea. What if you did something where if they sign up for Brave, they get either a discount on the retreat or they get the retreat for free, right? A way to like entice you to fill the heck out of Brave. Could do that.
Yeah.
Right? Just to get some seats full and check in if that feels right to you. How does that feel?
Yeah.
Not good?
I could do something like that or vice versa.
Yeah.
The thing is that,
right. Because it is hard to sell. I mean, this is my thought is it is kind of hard to sell two things like at the same time. I also had the same thing. Like I sold my mastermind and then the retreat was like 2 months after. So I also I had the same thing where I realized, evaluation, maybe sell them give myself more time because a retreat, you have to sell the value. Yeah. So if people aren't coming in, they just don't see the value yet. And the only reason why is because you haven't been talking about it as much as you need to. That's the only reason, right? You haven't been giving it the energy that it needs, and it needs energy to get filled. And so the thing is, you could just say, well, since they are kind of back to back, is there a way that I can make this a win-win where I can fill the retreat and I can fill Brave?
Yeah. Yeah, I like that.
How does that feel?
It's good. I'm going to think about how I can, maybe do something with both.
Yeah. Because really, if we want to sell something and it's not selling, the only thing that's happening is people don't see the value of it. Because if they saw the value, they'd give you their credit card.
Right.
Because you know what I mean? They just don't know what they're getting yet. You're not excited. It's like you're internally excited, but you're not sharing your excitement with everyone. You're not sharing the value. So they're not seeing it yet. So there's ways you can do that, right? It's either, I'm going to do 50-50. I'm going to talk about Brave and I'm going to talk about the retreat, and whatever one there's a fit for, they pick. Or how can I sell these together, right? But so that's the only reason. Okay. And this is really a great question for anyone. Is like, I'm not selling something. The only reason you're not selling it is because you just haven't shared the value enough.
Hmm. Yeah.
When you do that,
Yeah. And I
and
think I've been sharing more about Brave than the
yeah,
retreat. Like, I think the retreat was way less.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there may be what another fun thing is, like, you could add a
Oh,
VIP
my
option.
phone. Oh, that's
Like,
better.
oh yeah, you could add to Brave, you could make like a VIP Brave option where they get the retreat included, something like that, or where it's X amount more to have the retreat too.
Mm-hmm.
And then just think,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
you can totally,
Okay.
yep, you can totally fill both.
Thank you.
You
Thank
get
you,
it.
Jamie.
That's exciting. I love it.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
So good to see
Bye.
you. All right, I'll move you back to, okay. So for everyone to think about, if you are not selling, you just have to think about, how much am I communicating the value with my people? If you amp that up, you will sell way more. Leslie, so the Facebook group is, let me see. Daniela, are you here by chance? Could you put the Facebook group in? If you're not here, it's okay. Because the Facebook group you got in your confirmation email. I don't have it with me right now, but yeah, it's in the confirmation email. I don't know. Oh, here it is. Perfect. Daniela just put it in the chat. So if anyone's not in the Facebook group yet, get in there, because that is where we're doing the homework assignments. And it is so fun reading everyone's comments and all the things. Okay. So today was awesome. I'm so excited for all of you. I told you you were going to have an energetic shift around money. So I'm wondering who's already feeling it. I'm hoping some of you are starting to have some insights or some shifts, or hopefully this is opening your eyes to opportunities for more abundance. Literally just tripled. Wait. I got to see this. Yes, literally just tripled my rates, and it feels so aligned. Yes, I love it. Okay, so we have tomorrow's call, which is so exciting. It's going to be super good. So come live, come interact. I will open the floor for more questions and things too. Because we're going to wrap things up tomorrow. But I just want to plant the seed that if this is starting to help you, if you're liking the energy of this, if this is helping you open your eyes to start seeing in a new way, and if you're realizing, hey, I have a little work to do around my relationship with money, or hey, it would be really freaking nice if this year I just felt the flow in my business, I really want you to consider to join the money manifestation movement this year. Because again, like, this is akin to me, right? If you're thinking about the way that transformation happens, literally your brain being completely rewired around money, right? Like, my intention is for 1 year from now for not only for you to have completely different results, a completely different experience in your business, but I want your brain to think differently for the rest of your life around money, right? That's my intention for the program. And in order to do that, the brain is a muscle. You can't show up to 3 workout classes and change your whole body. You can't show up to 3 calls and change your whole brain. The work is consistency. You have to keep showing up for this work, right? That's why I offer it for an entire year container. So I really, really want to encourage you guys to sign up for that, because it will change your life. It will change your business. Guaranteed. It will change your energy. Within the first month, it will. Right? Next month, we have our 21-day money reboot, which we do twice a year. Best month ever inside of the movement. Like, my clients have their biggest months. We go through all the modules all together as a group. It is next level. So I want you to consider joining, especially because right now is the lowest cost you will ever get it. And if you wait until next month, even February 1st, you're going to lose $2,500, right? And like, there's a lot you could do with that $2,500. You could invest it. You could get yourself a Gucci bag. You could go on vacation. You could come to my retreat next, like summer/fall. I don't know when it is, but right, there's a lot you can do with $2,500. So I don't want you to miss out and, like, wait to join and miss out on that money. So yeah. I love it. What did you say? Sign up for the movement and get coaching in 2 minutes. Exactly. Okay, I got to get off because I got to get on my movement coaching call. I love you all so much. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Hey, thanks for listening. I hope this episode is something that you'll be able to add to your manifestation toolbox to come back to when you need a little extra motivation. If you like what you've heard today and want to take it deeper, you've got to come check out my signature coaching program, the Money Manifestation Movement. It's the place where you'll not only learn manifestation, but you'll begin to live it alongside me and an amazing community of like-minded entrepreneurs doing this work together. Head on over to jamieberman.com to learn more.